Now, 9:35, and you know what that means? Because he's right on time, because he's an Army guy. Our Senator Dave McCormick. Senator McCormick, welcome to the Bob Cordaro Show.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Man, you must have loved that parade on Saturday.
It was great. It was fantastic. And, they did those video clips in there about West Point and Ranger School and all that stuff. It was like a walk down memory lane. It was awesome.
Oh, and you would have marched in that kind of parade not too long ago. You're not that old yet.
Well, I wish it was I wish it wasn't so long ago. But the thing about it is, I don't think you can watch that and just not swell with pride for America, for the sons and daughters who commit themselves, are willing to sacrifice everything so we can have the country we love, the freedoms we love. It was just a source of inspiration, and the contrast between watching those proud young men and women march in front of the reviewing stand and watching those idiots on top of cars, with masks and waving, burning the American flag and waving flags from Mexico and destroying property. It's just it was a real contrast of what's great and what we love about America, and also some of the things that aren't going in the direction we need.
In some of the dark days of the Obama administration, and of course in the Biden administration, I would just go up to West Point to watch them on the parade grounds and say, man, there's hope for this country. And that's what Saturday provided.
I couldn't agree more, Bob. And in my life, I graduated from there almost 40 years ago. But when I've had these tough moments where, trying to make a tough choice or having challenges, personal challenges or professional challenges, whenever I go to West Point, it always kind of brings a sense of calm, because it puts everything in perspective. And, there's that great Psalm 121 about look to the mountains and you'll find your strength. And you can stand there on that parade field and look up to those incredible mountains in the Hudson Valley and say, hey, there's something bigger than ourselves, and there's something great and amazing about service and duty on our country, which is what West Point's all about.
Well, Senator McCormick, you have hit the ground running, but you've done so many things. But I want to narrow it down. You were part of, and I heard the announcement from your office about Amazon coming to Pennsylvania with monster development.
Yeah, huge. Well, I was standing there. I was just thinking to myself. So the announcement was in Berwick. And as you know, Bob, I went to high school about 6 miles from there in Bloomsburg High School. And I said, in 1983, if you'd have said to me when I was graduating that, 42 years later, I'd be standing in Berwick with the governor as the United States Senator announcing $20 billion of investment in Luzerne County and Bucks County, I think, and honestly, Bob, I think with more to come, and biggest investment in Pennsylvania's history. It's going to create thousands of new jobs, permanent jobs. It's going to, in these data centers, it's going to create thousands of surrounding jobs, hotels, drivers, restaurants, and it's going to create thousands of building trade jobs to build these great data centers, which then get refreshed every 4 years with all sorts of new work. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's amazing. And, it's part of what I'm calling, sort of Pennsylvania Rising. It's just one great announcement in a series of good things. So about a month ago, maybe a little bit less, the president announced the Nippon-U.S. Steel partnership was going to go through. I was involved in that. So was Dan Muser, your friend and my friend, where they're going to invest $14 billion in U.S. Steel, new facilities, $2.5 billion in the Mon Valley, outside of Pittsburgh. Again, that's creating thousands of new jobs, about the 10,000 building trade jobs to build that new arc furnace. We have this Amazon announcement, which is going to create thousands of jobs across Pennsylvania. We have something that I announced on Thursday where President Trump is going to come, and I'm launching a first energy Innovation and Artificial Intelligence Conference in Pittsburgh. And you may remember when President Trump was in his first term said, listen, I'm more worried about what's going on in Pittsburgh than Paris when they were having those negotiations on climate change. Well, this is about bringing all this new investment to Pennsylvania because we are uniquely equipped, Bob. We've got bountiful energy up in your part, up where you are, northeast where I grew up, southwest where I currently live, huge energy resources. We have these incredible building trades. And, when you're in this artificial intelligence game, it's all about speed. So you got to have a workforce that can get these data centers up and running and constantly evolve. And incredible technical talent coming out of Penn State, coming out of Carnegie Mellon, coming out of the University of Pennsylvania and Drexel and other places. So we are uniquely competitive for getting this big investment. We just got to go make the case. And this Energy Summit, July 15th, where the president's going to come and we're going to have CEOs from technology companies, from energy companies, big investors, the building trades. It's going to be a great step forward in terms of both solidifying more investment and I think bringing the national media to Pennsylvania to see everything we have to offer.
And what I think is extra great about it, we're talking with Senator Dave McCormick, is that you did this in your campaign with the intent to showcase us. And now you got the president coming in only 6 months into office to highlight your efforts. And on top of that, and coincidental with it, you and John Fetterman, he joined along, introducing a bipartisan bill to move a DOE office, Department of Energy office, to Pittsburgh. Absolutely fabulous. And with Trump showing up here, it's a real possibility.
Hey, good stuff's happening. And, you and I talked about this. The thing, I think most people just know that Washington is it's just gotten stuck in its old ways. It's not looking to change. You get people that are dug in, whether people have been serving forever or the lobbyists. And it's just so my goal is to shake things up. So two things I've done so far. One is introduce term limits. Legislation to support term limits. I told you when I ran I was going to do this, and then I said no matter what I'll term limit myself to 2 terms. So I've introduced term limits legislation, which I'm going to push forward to basically say, listen, you should not make a career out of being in an elected office in Washington. That's not what our founders imagined. But the second thing is these big, huge bureaucracies, they're just sitting in Washington. So you get a bunch of people regulating people in Pennsylvania who have never been on a natural gas, never been on a fracking rig, never seen this up close and personal. They're disconnected from the people who they're influencing. So I thought, and I said this during the campaign, so let's get the Department of Energy moved to Pittsburgh. We're the second largest energy producer in the country. Natural gas, coal, all forms. We got a huge nuclear installed base. And so this first move, what Senator Fetterman did with me, is the Office of Fossil Energy and Carbon Management, which is like all the sort of leading edge technology. It oversees the nuclear evolution of nuclear technology. It oversees the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And these are great jobs. Great scientists, researchers that we would move to Pittsburgh. We already have some of them there. This will add to it. And,
by the way, Senator McCormick, beyond appropriate because the formerly leading American company in the nuclear space was Westinghouse, headquartered in Pittsburgh.
No kidding. You're absolutely right. And so here's the best part. As I'm speaking to you on the phone, I'm driving to go visit this office in Pittsburgh that we will expand when this move goes into place. And when the Secretary of Energy came before my committee, I said this. I said, listen, I want to move Department of Energy to Pennsylvania, and I want to start with this office. And he said, okay, I'm open to that. Let's discuss it further. So this legislation is something I've been talking about, and I think an important first step.
You've been doing amazing things. This energy initiative and moving parts of the Department of Energy to Pittsburgh is a big deal. Getting Trump to come here in July. On top of that, getting John Fetterman to work with you, not only on this but on other things. And I'm not big on bipartisan initiatives. I'll be honest with you, not with today's Democrat Party, but you're finding common ground in the U.S. Senate, and that can't be anything but a good thing.
Yeah, that's the way I think about it. You know, you with John Fetterman or other Democrats, on most things we disagree, but on the things we can agree on, let's work hard to get things done for Pennsylvania, and that's. You know, you and I talked about this. I got elected in a state where there's 13 million people, 7 million voters, and I got about half of them. So my job is to represent every single Pennsylvanian and do the things I promised, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, we love the work you're doing. We love the job you're doing. On something more, I guess, immediate and maybe prosaic in a way, where are you in terms of looking at the big, beautiful bill, which is now on the Senate's agenda?
You know, first of all, we got to get this done. We got to get the president's agenda moving forward. It's going to be good for every Pennsylvanian. The most important thing to know about this is that if you didn't pass this bill, it would be the biggest tax increase in history. Mm-hmm. It would be a $2,000 tax raise on a family that makes $50,000. So we got to do that. It makes permanent the 2017 tax cuts, which were great for business. The economy grew. Small businesses were able to depreciate R&D and all sorts of other things. This was a great pro-growth strategy. So we got to get that done. This also pluses up the border to get the border more secure, get the kind of border patrol resources we need, and defense. I mean, we are in a dangerous world, Bob, as we see with what's going on with Iran and with Russia and Ukraine. So it does the basic things we need to do for the president's agenda, including for those working families, no tax on tips, including no tax on overtime and no tax on Social Security. So this is a great step forward on the president's agenda. The big challenge is how to do these things and also begin to get control of the out-of-control spending that got so much worse under Joe Biden. And what we're trying to do in the Senate is take the good work that came out of the House and lower the spending even further. And the big controversial thing, which I want to, for your listeners, is Medicaid. And that's what the Democrats are saying. We're doing these horrific cuts to Medicaid and the bill. I just want to tell you what the House bill actually proposed, which I think the Senate will mostly do this. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, Bob. It's unbelievable. Yep. So what is this Medicaid has grown $250 billion a year over the last 5 years in terms of incremental spending. And you're right. What this does, only in government, when the Democrats are saying these huge cuts, the cuts are to slow the out of control growth. And so if you look over the next 10 years, at a minimum, it was going to grow 5% a year. Now it's going to go, under the House proposal, 3% a year. And what it does, it just says the following thing. If you're a working age man without dependents, then you have to have a requirement to work to be eligible for Medicaid. And people say, well, they can't get a job. Well, if you can't get a job, then you can volunteer 20 hours per week, 80 hours per month. And that's the requirement to be eligible. And listen, the people I grew up with think that's pretty reasonable. You shouldn't get. Honestly, the people I grew up work 80 hours a week. So this is the one of the areas of controversy. I think we're going to make the bill a little bit better. I think it will get passed by the House and the Senate. We'll get the president's agenda moving forward, and I think it'll be one of many great things that are happening in our country right now.
Well, between USAID and the big, beautiful bill in the House, the Democrats have claimed so many people have died, there's nobody left in the country.
That's the thing. When you're not in the middle of this stuff and you read it in the newspapers, you're like, wow, what's going on there? But when you're in the middle of it, how outrageous the misrepresentation is just hard to believe. So I go just like a business guy. The team starts to talk to me about it. I say I want to go through the numbers. I want to make sure I understand how everything is affecting people in Pennsylvania. And if there's something in the bill or something that the president proposes that I don't think is good for Pennsylvania, I'm going to be fighting hard to make sure Pennsylvania is protected. That's where my allegiance lies, and so far so good.
Senator Dave McCormick, our guest. Someone wanted to make sure that we point out that you're not physically driving while you're on the phone, so you don't get in any kind of trouble.
No, that's right. That's right. I am not driving. I'm all safe.
Yeah. Well, Senator McCormick, thank you so much. We love having you represent us. We're damn proud of you. And we tell you, just keep doing a great job. We'll follow along. And as always, this show is yours anytime you want it.
Thanks for having me, Bob. All the best to you. Thanks again.
Our Senator.